Hey guys, it's Russell back, and on today's video we're going to do a product review on the Longacre oil filter cutter. That's right. You've probably seen different YouTube videos of people trying to cut open oil filters with Dremels, tin snips, hacksaws, things like that. If you really want to see what's going on inside your engine, you need to cut open the oil filter every time you do an oil change. Now, in order to do that and to look at the element inside properly, you need to use a good oil filter cutter. So we're going to show you how to do this today. We're going to look at the oil filter that I took off the Jetta TDI in a previous video that's got, I think, 9,519 miles of use on that oil filter. So we're going to see what's inside that. I'm going to show you why you should put magnets on the outside of your oil filter and whatever else we can find in there. So let me get set up and we'll be right back.
Okay, so after you finally get this out of its package, you're going to know that this tool has, well, it's got some nice weight to it. It's made out of, it looks like a milled aluminum. It's got two roller bearings here that are replaceable. They're held in by nylock nuts. It's got an adjustable handle here that adjusts the inside diameter here for different size filters, and it's got a replaceable cutter wheel right here. This is what I would consider a premium product. Longacre Racing is the one that manufactures these, and I'm very pleased with it. So for the guys that have the spin-on filters, okay, these are called spin-on filters, this is why you need one of these. If you want to know what's inside this filter, you don't want to cut it open with a hacksaw or try to butcher it with a knife or a drill or whatever, because you're going to get metal fragments and all kinds of fragments in here, which is not what you want. You want to see what's inside this element without contaminating it. If you're one of those lucky few that have the Element style oil filter, which is not a canister, it goes down inside a stationary container that's on the car, then you don't need this. Okay, this is only for the metal canister spin-on filters. You can do oil filters, hydraulic filters, you can do fuel filters, anything that's a canister style filter. Now this filter particularly came out of the 98 Jetta. It's got, like I said, 9,519 miles. It's a Hinks. All right, I've used these for years and years and years. You'll notice these magnets on the side. I always put magnets on the side, and I'm going to show you why when we open this. I bought these, I think, from K&J Magnetics. They're just rare earth molybdenum. Any magnet will work. These are extremely strong. They're very hard to take off, and I have broken a few before. So the way that we do this is I'm going to need to move these magnets. I'm going to slide them down out of the way. I'm going to try to wipe this off, get it a little clean. Alright, so we've got that part there, and we want to open the diameter of this so that it will fit. This is a rather large filter. You can look on their website. You can Google Longacre if you want to see what size filters they'll fit. Almost. Okay, so basically the filter sits in just like that, and then you turn the cutter till it just connects the filter like that. Alright, if you crank it down too hard, it's going to crush it. So I'm going to just spin this around like this, turn it a little bit, spin it around, turn it, spin it, and what this is doing is it's cutting into the outside of the filter without putting any metal shavings or contaminants inside the element. I've seen some people on YouTube try to spin the filter, you want to spin the tool and hold the filter. Alright, it's now separated. Okay, see how easy that was? So I'm going to slide the tool right off like that, stick this aside, and here is our element. Alright, now this part right here is of not much value as far as looking at it. This is the head of it. Let me grab a paper towel. Now what you're going to see on the top, and this is a standard filter design, this right here is a drain back valve, and this is a two-piece. It's got a small metal fingered type of almost like a spring, and it's got a little rubber piece. Some you'll notice have rubber, some of them don't have rubber, some of them will have silicone. Now this is the element. Just pulls out right like that. So if you don't have a canister filter, you'll probably have an element that looks similar to this. And we'll try to get up close. Now notice, for you 3,000 mile oil change people, there's no sludge in here. And the reason that there's no sludge in here is because I use AMSOIL. You're not going to sludge your filters up with AMSOIL. Or any good synthetic. So I'm not going to go into the construction of the filter itself, but what you want to do, and I don't know if the camera will pick this up, you want to kind of spread the pleats apart and see if you can see any metal bits. Specifically, you'd be looking for copper, shiny copper bits, brass, any type of steel bits, iron, things like that. Now, most of the bits in here, you're not going to be able to, there's microscopic particles in here. What we're looking for is what our naked eye can pick up, which would be the big chunks. And to do a really thorough examination, you would want to try to take these caps off. These caps they're probably epoxied to this pleat. This is, I don't know how many square feet this pleat would be, but you see there's a ton of pleats in here. This has a lot of surface area. So I don't see any particles doing our cursory look. You also want to see if there's any ripped pleats. These pleats are very, very strong. This is a very good quality filter. If you guys have never used the Hinks, I've used them for years. Hinks are good, Man are good, but these are really good on the Volkswagens. Now I want to show you, see my magnets. My magnets are up here. You see that? See that stuff right there? Okay, that's metallic particles. Now they're very, very, very fine, but this just goes to show you that magnets work. So I take these magnets and I would slide them off and put them on my next oil filter when I do my oil change. And there's all sorts of magnets you can get. You can use the kind that fit on the bottom. Whatever you want to use, depending on your space consideration. These work best on the Jetta because there's not a lot of room in there. This is a very big oil filter. And you also want to look in there. There's the bypass, the pressure relief. And as common, this is just a sheet metal type spring. But if you'll notice, inside the oil filter, there is, it's very, very clean. There's no sludge in there. So I would say that this filter can easily, the filter itself, it could easily have gone 10,000 miles. I probably wouldn't go any further on a traditional cellulose. This is a cellulose medium, traditional cellulose filter. If I had a good nano type filter like from AMSOIL, you can go, some of those you can go 15 to 25,000 miles, but This is the traditional cellulose. So opening this filter, we know it can easily do 9,500 miles. So I wouldn't feel bad at all doing 10,000 mile changes on this. I also did an oil analysis, and we'll be able to see what was in the oil before we changed it. So anyway, that's how you examine an oil filter. Obviously, you want to make sure that the container, the outside sheet metal, was in good shape, but everything looks good. In this oil filter analysis, I'm very pleased. This is the first time I've opened one of these. You know, I've been wrenching on cars for almost 40 years, and I got to tell you that you really should always open or examine your oil filter, depending on what type of filter you have. And just make an investment. This tool will last a lifetime. You only got to buy it once. If you want to go in with some friends, buy it. But you need to be looking, because you can really head off problems that you may see. If you're starting to see a little bit of copper in there inside the pleats, you'll see it. It looks like it would look like gold. You know, is the filter sludged up? Things like that. You need to look at your oil filter. So I hope this tool review was helpful. If you are deciding to get an oil filter wrench, this isn't the only one out there on the market, but this is arguably probably the best one out on the market as far as durability, and it looks nice too. It's a nice piece of equipment to add to your toolbox. So this is Russell, and I will see you guys on the next video.